smashes the record by 200. We should all be encouraged by it. We really should. I think about my son. That's something that he could do one day. He can identify as a female and maybe go smash my daughter's records. I just realized I've been out on the boat all summer. I haven't even listened to that song on the boat. Isn't that amazing? I don't think anybody appreciates it like I do. Clinton Jaws, guys. I want to ask you something. I'm performing. I'm going to be at Yuck Yucks. Yeah, okay, I'm doing a thing at Yuck Yucks. Coming up. Started this school year in the season in the Lower Mainland. I'm just curious, if I told you guys the date, would you go? Leave a comment. Let me know. I want to know the answer to this. And will you subscribe? Would it kill you to subscribe? Was that all I want to say about that? I think that's all I want to say. I think. Would you go, even though it might not be funny to you? Really? I came back we went to Sunfest on the island. And it was great. We went for 2 nights, Thursday, Friday. And I'm going to tell you about it. I ran into a couple of cops. They were dressed like police officers. And I get excited. Okay, I look like an idiot. I got cowboy boots on. I'm holding on to my jean jacket. When I see them, I just about myself because I had a beer. So I wrapped it in my jean jacket. And I'm walking past them and I say, hey guys, doing a good job. Something like, I can't even remember what I said. I probably said something dumb like double bubble. I don't know. And they both stop. And the one guy, he starts talking about my channel. Yeah, I've seen your channel. I don't know if he said he liked it or not. And I thought it was cool. I forget his name. I'm hammered. We're having a pretty good conversation. I'm asking where they're from. And his buddy really, he was a cop and he was like 3 feet away from us. Like he's waiting for him to be done. Like, come on, Peter, we got to get going. We got to do some more foot patrols. He was waiting for our conversation to be over. I asked them where they're from. Like, where do they work? And his buddy, I said, where do you work at? And he goes, district. I'm from district. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? District? Maybe I'm an idiot. Where the hell is that? District. And I'm like, are you talking about Victoria? I can't remember what they said. I think he might have said yeah. Anyways, point is, I still get excited seeing police officers. Not a whole lot want to talk because we're police officers. That's just the way we are, which is too bad. But this guy was nice. He spoke to me. We talked for a few minutes. I looked at his epaulette. I think they're called epaulettes. This is a corporal. And he had a bunch of these bars. These gold bars. Like, I don't know. It looked like maybe 4. And I started rubbing his bars on his, right here, right on his shoulder. And I'm like, oh, wow. What is that? What's with all the bars? Why do you have so many? What are you? And he's like, I'm a staff sergeant. I'm like, oh, fancy you. That's important. And then he tells me a story. He goes, Clint, Mac Richards gets a kick out of watching your videos. And I'm like, Mac Richards? My first inspector in Port Alberni. I went through 2 inspectors. And he was my first one. And I'm thinking, he gets it? I think I talk about him sometimes. I'm just surprised that he gets a kick out of my videos. And a short story with Mac Richards. Mac Richards calls me into his office and he goes, Clint, what are you guys going to do? What's your watch going to do today? And I said, this, and that. And he goes, I'm a little concerned, I bet you guys don't even know what's going on in the town. Did you even know? Do you guys even know it's a busy weekend? There's a regatta out at Sprott Lake. And I didn't correct him. But I'll never forget. I thought it was funny. He's informing me of Port Alberni, and he can't pronounce Sprout Lake. You had to be there. Anyways, yeah, it was a good conversation. I got a story I got to tell you. I'm going to take a couple puffs before I say it. It is hot as balls at this Sunfest, guys. Excruciating. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. We're staying in a tent. Everybody else has RVs. We're all huddled around their fancy RVs. We came last minute, so we had this 9-person tent. I brought the porta potty in the tent, which saved me, but it was embarrassing in the morning because I'm walking around thousands of people holding onto this porta potty because I got to empty it into the outhouse, right? Anyways, it is so hot. I'm pouring water all over my body while I'm sitting in the campsite. And it was the first morning that we wake up, and me and the woman, we want to go find a good toilet. Maybe some that flush, right? Some that are kind of clean, because these outhouses were so nasty. And we walk out from our campsite, and we're now on the main stretch that leads up into the Sunfest, to where all the activities are happening. And we're walking, me and the woman, me and the gal, me and the old lady. And I look over, there's a guy looking at me. And this guy, he looked serious. He looked dangerous. He looked like a biker. He had some kind of goofy hat on, beard, dark sunglasses, black shirt, long, scraggly biker hair. And okay, yeah, this is how it happened. I noticed him because it goes, Clint. And I turn and I see him. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, yeah? He goes, you don't remember me, do you? Wife's not helping at all. She's actually sped up. And once he said, you don't remember me, do you? I'm like, yeah, I do. I remember you. I arrested you in Duncan. This is what I'm thinking. I had a call in Duncan. It was my first year service. We're at a call. We're doing something. We're at a call. And this guy pulls up in a pickup truck and he gives us information. He's helping us out somehow. I can't remember how he's helping us out, but he was helping us out. And he provides information to Russ Warren. After he talks with Russ Warren comes back to me and goes, well, this is your file. And I think that guy's drunk. I can smell alcohol. So you better go do something about it. I'm thinking, oh, thanks. Don't do that, by the way, police officers. Just do it yourself. Do the investigation. You find somebody drunk, it's your investigation, okay? I couldn't stand it when members would do that. I remember Prunty, acting watch commander. There was a call, I think it was a shoplifter, Safeway in Duncan. And we're looking for this guy. Her file, she took the file, she finds the guy, calls me to the scene, and says, arrest him. I got to go back to the office and do office duties. Anyways, don't do that. So this guy, I end up writing him a 24-hour. I didn't want to, but Russ wanted me to. And the next block, he said, please don't do this. I'm going to lose my license. Anyways, I seen him again after. I gave him a ride home. He threatened the Hells Angels on me. I stopped the car, told him to get out. And now he's beside me at the Sunfest. And he's walking with me. And I said, yeah, I do remember you. You were the guy that I gave a 24-hour to. And he confirms. He says, yes, man, you got a great memory, Clint. That's a really good memory you have. And I can't tell if he's mad at me or if he's happy with me. And I kept on looking at his hands. Like, what's he going to do? Is he going to jump me? Is he going to hit me? Is he going to pull something out of his pockets? This is what I'm thinking. And this conversation's going on for 2 minutes. Wife's not saying a thing. She's just kind of looking. Thank you. And he kept on saying, yeah, man, wow, what a great memory you have. And I said, yeah, I didn't even really want to give you that 24-hour. I actually said that to him. Because I'm retired, you can say that stuff now. Yeah, Clint, sure good memory you got. I'm like, anyways, dude, it's nice meeting you. We're going to get going. He takes off his hat and his sunglasses, and he goes, Clint, I'm just effing with you. It's Ian from Troop 14. I graduated with Ian in Depot. Ian Thornton. And we had a good laugh. I called him a bunch of swear words. And it was just nice to see, because you have a bond with these people. And I haven't seen the guy, I don't know, 25 years? For a very long time. He recognized me. He's watched a couple of my videos. That's probably why he recognized me. I would have never recognized him. The moment he took off his sunglasses and his hat, I recognized him immediately. And yeah, he just kept on walking with us, wouldn't leave us alone. I'm kidding. But it got me thinking. I tell my dad this story, and he goes, isn't that something? You retire, and you have no protection. They take your gun away. And I'm like, yeah, it's absolutely brutal. You police all these years. You arrest all these people. And I'm really close to Duncan at the Sunfest. I arrested a lot of people in Duncan. A lot. I was the constable that had all the files. I was the one that did all the work on the entire watch. Nobody even came close to me with file count. And when you retire, they expect you to here, we're going to strip you of all your weapons. Good luck to you. And that doesn't seem right to me. And it's not right. You want me to have a gun. Yeah, I might be a little batshit crazy, but you want me to have a gun. Okay? I'm a sharpshooter. I'm an expert. Doesn't even matter if I'm an expert. But I'm one guy that you want to have a gun. And I deserve one. And I want one. But I can't have one. I can't walk around with one. It's ridiculous. In fact, if I want to have one at the house, I'm expected to go take a weekend course to have a weapon at my house. Dumb. Even though I know a 9mm inside and out. I wasn't going to do. Okay. Sunfest, guys, go next year. Okay. I've been missing out all these years. Loved it. I want to congratulate Anne Andreas. I think she's from Canada. She just won the powerlifting competition. She smashed a world record, and she needs to be congratulated. Some are trying to say she had some sort of advantage. BS. Choose for yourself. Why am I showing you this? Because it's interesting, okay? This is the Michael Jordan of powerlifters. Where is play? About to beat the national record by 200 pounds. Do you hear that applause? Deserved. She was born a man, but she identifies as a female, and people are saying that she was at some sort of advantage with that. Smashes the record by 200. We should all be encouraged by it. We really should. I think about my son. That's something that he could do one day. He can identify as a female and maybe go smash my daughter's records. Women were chasing that record for years. She comes by and just smashes the living hell out of it. And honestly, the Michael Jordan of powerlifting. It tells me that I can do that one day. Cute. Good looking girl. I'd date her. Anyways, good job, Anne. Keep up the good work. I like where this world is headed. It's fair. It's inclusive. And that's the way it should be. This really pissed me off here. I got to show you guys this. I don't know how they're getting away with this. And I don't agree with this one bit. And I don't know where they're getting their logic from. But this just happened. The World Chess Federation has banned transgender women from playing in official female competitions until further notice. And I'm like, what is the science behind that? Why would they ban them from that? And I Googled it. And Google is clearly lying to me. In the record history of chess, world champions have always been male, not female. Further, there is currently only one woman in the top 100 of chess players. And I'm like, I don't care. That's discriminating against men who identify as female. They just want to play other females. They're still a female, and they deserve to kick other women's asses. In powerlifting, chess, you name it, UFC, boxing. Let's move on. I want to show you guys this video that I found the other day with GSP, George St. Pierre, okay? And this is, the words that he says reminds me of when I was a police officer. This is how I feel towards police. I remember, I think it was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I had people that were stopping me from logging on my property. They were in the wrong, I was in the right, and I lost my mind. At one point, 2 cops came out on 2 different occasions. The second cop came out, was a complete a-hole. He was from Port Alberni. I never recognized him. He's obviously new. I don't know where he got transferred from. But what happened was they were blocking my equipment with a flatbed at my place. It was parked right in front of my place. I couldn't even get out. I couldn't get equipment in. I called the cop, and he's not coming. And I got my worker here, right? He can't get through. So I call back. It's Sunday morning, guys. I call back. I'm like, can you come? Can you come now? We got to do something here. And he finally comes. He gets out of his car, and me and my dad are standing right there. We're feet away from him. And he walks straight up to the flat deck. Doesn't look at us. Doesn't say hi. And right away, I'm thinking, oh, man. Honestly, I'm shocked, to tell you the truth. Because I've never treated any of my complainants like that ever. Nobody. I've never had a complaint. I've never had a complaint from a complainant. I've never had a public complaint. All my other guys did. I investigated them. Everybody. I mean, a lot of people can't say that. Anyways, the point is, it disappointed me to see him like that. He doesn't know that I used to be a police officer. Probably doesn't really care. But to see the other side, I'm like, oh, cops really do act like that. I didn't know. It's so weird. Or maybe they just start acting like this now, like a-holes. Then he's saying, can't do anything about that flat deck. Yeah, unfortunately, anybody can park a flat deck anywhere he wants. And my dad's like, bullshit. How is that even? So him and my dad, they get into a little bit of an argument. But my dad's in the right by confronting him about it. And the cop is like, who are you? Well, I'm talking with this guy. And I'm like, that's my dad. Cop didn't like my dad. Cop didn't like what my dad had to say, even though my dad was making sense. And I didn't like how he was treating my dad. And at the end of it, my dad's like, why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you do anything? And I'm like, you know what? I guess it's kind of like a brotherhood, right? He shows up. He's wearing the uniform that I wore all my life. He's a police officer. Even though I don't know him, I have some sort of bond with him that I can't explain. And it was disappointing to see him act the way he did. You don't know his story, right? Maybe he has a hell of a story. But just the lie, right off the bat. He's telling me, well, the reason why he didn't come out right away was because what we do is we prioritize calls. And I'm thinking, oh, God, dude, you don't got any calls, okay? It was the first call of the day. 9 o'clock on a Sunday. There's no calls coming in on Sunday morning, guys. What you guys are doing is eating breakfast, and maybe you got a couple of JJP hearings. He's not doing them. The watch commander is. And he's not the watch commander. So right away, I know he's not prioritizing any calls. What are you talking about? And no, we don't in Port Alberni. Call comes in, we go to it. Very, very rarely, maybe we say to dispatch, leave that in the queue for a while. But we're not doing that on a Sunday. Okay, we're taking that call right away. And we're going to take our time. Because hopefully by the time you get out there, they have now moved the flat deck. The problem is solved. So I know it was just a bad moment. So I'm watching GSP the other day. I want to share you what he says. This is how police officers think of other police officers. This is how I still think of police officers. No matter what, I'm always going to like a police officer. I'm always going to love, that's pretty strong. But this is why I didn't cause a ruckus. I didn't want to argue with the guy. Listen to what GSP has to say here. And if you're a police officer, it relates to it totally.
I kind of love my opponent in a way that I don't hate my opponent. And the reason is why if I hate my opponent, it's a little bit like if I hate myself, because when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm a little bit similar to what I saw across the octagon, because that person probably made a similar sacrifice than I did. He had a very similar life path than I have, very similar. So I can identify to him much more than I can identify to anybody else, you know? So for me, it's important that I respect that, you know, like we give it all. We go all in when we do that. And there will be only one winner and one loser. Like the winner takes all, sort of, you know, like take all the fame, take all the credit, and, you know, and it suck, you know, but I have to respect that. It takes a lot of courage. And
anyways, I couldn't have said it a better way. And that's how I feel when I seen Ian Thornton. That's how I felt when I seen those cops doing some double overtime at the Sunfest and talking to them for a few minutes. And then when I see a cop act like an asshole, it's like, oh God, dude, I'm not mad. It's just disappointing. And I love the words that he says. Similar sacrifice, similar path. You know, it's we share war together. And war can be as simple as scraping a teenager body off the highway. You share a bond when you go through that. And when you look across and you see that person, you share that thing no matter what. Even if you don't know them. I'm not just talking about RCMP members. I'm talking about all police. That's how I feel. I think most retired cops would feel that way. Anyways, just wanted to share those words with you. I thought that was pretty cool. Made sense. I like to hear it. Because it made me understand why I acted that way out of the lake, you know, like a pussy. You know, I bowed down to him basically because I didn't want to argue with him. Because I can't hate them. Even the worst ones, you know, even the managers and the bosses. You know, I respect the uniform. But truly, is there any hatred? No, I don't think there is. Like, I don't want to punch anybody in the head. Let's take some calls.
Hey, Clint. I just finished up the Right Fit interview yesterday, so I'm just waiting on results from that. But I'm in the middle of the application process. I've got my RMAC interview coming up. So I had a quick question. I was wondering, I did get into a fight within the year that I applied to the RCMP. It was self-defense. There were cops called to the situation, and they ended up just letting us go and calling it a consensual fight. It just happened outside the bar, you know, one drink led to another, and unfortunately things escalated in a manner that is not ideal for an RCMP applicant. But repercussions of that might be, considering that I did have to put that down on the RMAC, so that will be talked about. So, yeah, basically, one guy ended up going to the hospital. It was I'm very unfortunate. But like I said, the cops let us all go and called it a consensual fight. So I'm not sure what that might look like on the police side of things, but they did take my ID, so I know I was at least written down there as an interaction with the police. So I'm sure it's going to come up. So just wanted your advice or your opinion. See what you think about that. So anyway, thanks. Love the show. Keep them coming. Bye.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for your call, man. Why didn't you walk away? This is all going to come down to how you articulate it when you talk to police about it. Oh, there's a report. Probably a detailed report. Remember that. But you're going to have to, getting in a fight and putting somebody in the hospital outside of a bar doesn't look good. It's not going to make you look good. Self-defense? Could you not get away from it? That'd be different. Did you have no choice but to do what you had to do? And if that was the case, and cops love consensual, right? That means there's no charges. They get to continue on with their day. There's no work to do. But it's all going to depend on how you articulate this and on how you make yourself look better than you do, because anytime you put somebody in the hospital, it's not going to look in your favor. How do you paint a good picture for yourself when you describe it? I don't know. You're going to have to figure that out. And they're going to ask a lot of questions. So be prepared for that. I'll give you an example. I remember my interview. Cops came. And I had to divulge it. But there's absolutely no way. And it was a fight. Well, it wasn't even a fight. I was assaulted. I'm sitting in the Galaxy restaurant. I'm a kid. I'm 1 year away from becoming a police officer. And I got my cup of coffee. It's 2 a.m. We're all drunk. Me and Shane were drunk. We're sitting there. And this guy, and to this day, I don't even know what he looks like. He ran over to my table, and he's standing right here. And I remember thinking, oh God, okay, I kissed his girlfriend. Because I would do a lot of that back in the day. Or I danced with her because we just came from the bar. He's mad because I danced with this woman. And so I say to him, I don't even look at him. I'm like, hey man, you got something to say it. He cracked me in the head. People say really, really hard. It instantly knocked me out. And then he hit me again. And they told me the second time he hit me, it was harder than the first time. Knocked out. Ambulance comes. I'm the one that goes to the hospital. Broken nose, deviated septum. I didn't even know that he deviated my septum, actually, until years later. Right here. They ended up arresting him. Nothing really happened to him. He went to court. I think he pled guilty. But the point of my story is, that doesn't make me look good. That I'm out there at 2 a.m. drinking, hanging out at the bar. But as I was able to articulate myself, well, it goes without saying. I mean, there's nothing I could do. I used it to my advantage. I said, I know what it's like to be a victim of a crime. Something like that. I was assaulted. I was a victim. I know when I become a police officer, I'm not going to do this or that. I know how important it is to treat somebody this way as a police officer. I was able to use it as a good example. Hopefully you can use it as a good example, but your interview's already done. But good luck on the questionnaire. Articulate yourself. Don't lie, but because it's all written down, but make yourself look like $1 million. Thanks for the call. By the way, that guy still lives in Port Alberni. One day, nothing. I won't say it.
Clint, how are you doing? I'll leave you some nice pauses so you can answer. I know you're getting old. But hey, so right now I'm a realtor. I'm 23. Last year I made take home after tax just over $250.
$250,000. Good job. Thanks for your call. What up, realtor?
thousand. And I'm wondering what you think. Is it worth leaving a job where I'm making really good money for the RCMP? And I have a newborn. He's a month old now. I got a wife. She's in accounting, also Asian.
Oh, did you say Asian? I'm listening to this for the first time. I just want to hear that again.
And I have a newborn. He's a month old now. I got a wife. She's in accounting, also Asian.
Did she give you COVID too?
Good job, buddy. So yeah, I just don't know. Like, everyone thinks I'm crazy for thinking, like, wanting to even move over to the RCMP. Everyone tells me to go municipal, but I want to move around a lot. I don't like sitting still. I've moved 3 times in the last 2 years. And I'm not too worried about the money. I've got a good savings going on. But I guess the one thing I don't understand with the process is, can you explain deferrals and why some people say it's a year and other people are getting 10 years or 15 years? And is that based solely off of their answers on the RMAC, or is this just recruiter bad day, bad time type deal? Anyways, I'm going to get off my ass and go do some work. Hope to hear from you. Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah. Good for you, man. Good for you for making $250,000 deferrals. I don't know why people are getting 10 years. That's just, you get a 10-year deferral. That's just saying you're not going to become a police officer, in my mind. I don't even know why they're bothering. Before, that's what they would do. They would just say, well, if we're giving him a 10-year, we're just going to tell him he's not going to become a cop. They're almost, maybe they think they're doing you a favor by giving you a 10-year deferral. We had 1, 2, 3-year deferrals. That's all I remember. That's what I remember that we had back then in recruiting. And it had to do with, like, if you shoplifted yesterday and you have your interview now, then you're going to get a 3-year deferral. But if you did it 2 years ago, then you'd only going to get a 1-year deferral. That's how we. And I remember if you associated with people that smoked marijuana or did drugs or did bad things, that was a 1-year deferral. Yeah, there were certain rules. Okay, that's what you're getting a deferral on. That's how we decided on 1, 2, and 3. And I don't know if I answered your question. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's constantly changing. It's all over the place. I know people used to get letters that said, never apply again. You're never going to become a cop. We're never going to hire you. And then they took all that away and they allowed these people to reapply. I seen that. Do you become a cop? Is it in your gut? Do you have a desire to become a cop? Me, $250,000. Oh. And plus, can't you go to depot, but still have your job just in case depot doesn't work out? That'd be all right. The experience of depot is unbelievable. It's the best experience I've ever had. The most satisfying experience I've ever had in my entire life. And the great thing is, if you don't like it, you get to fall back on real estate. I always said to my parents when I was a police officer, what if I shoot somebody and I get fired? I have nothing to fall back on. I'd be working at a video store. I'd go from being a cop, working at a video store. I remember saying, I wish I had an electrician background or a plumber background or constructions or something, or realty background. You would have a realty background that you could always fall back on. So yeah, you go become a cop, you go to the RCMP if it's in your veins. And if you don't like it, then you quit. And yeah, you go RCMP because you want to move around a lot. That's exactly what you do. Thanks for your call. It was a good one. They're all good, guys. 604-330-2512. Let's try another.
Mr. Jaws, you're not posting on Spotify anymore. What's going on?
Ooh, dude, sorry.
I've been looking. It's been a while. Probably posting on YouTube. But I drive, so I can't watch videos while I drive. I'm not going to pay for YouTube Premium because I don't want to.
Don't blame you.
Post on Spotify. I want to hear you. I want to hear your jokes. and all the shit that you shouldn't say. All right. Bye-bye. Love you.
Oh, long-time listener. Thanks for calling, dude. And I'm sorry about that. The Spotify, I've been uploading them to YouTube. I'll upload, I think I got 3 or 4 or 5 that I got to put on Apple and Spotify. I woke up actually thinking that. Like, how do you forget about that?
Hey, Clint. I'm just calling back. This is Mark from London, Ontario. I told you about my interview last time. I just want to update you what happened. So I did my interview last Monday, and then I got the result yesterday, actually. Fortunately, it didn't go on my way, and then they told me I can reapply after 2 years. I'm not really sure why. It's 2 years, because I thought I can just reapply after 6 months to 1 year. But, I tried my best. I tried doing my education just to make all the standards, my driving license and everything, working 2 security jobs, 80 hours a week. You already know that when I spoke to you last time. But my time for RCMP, maybe not this time, but I'm gonna keep pushing to apply for policing, maybe other agency. I'm just wondering if I will go to Toronto Police or Ontario OPP. But I would like to thank you for all the help you did to me on my application. Maybe you don't know about it, but you did really help me. That's why I'm still grateful. I went to stage 4. I didn't even go to RMAC, but still okay. It's a good learning experience for me, and I will look forward with your next video. Have a good day, Clint.
Thanks for your call, dude. I'm sorry about the news. It sucks, right? It's devastating. You don't want to hear that you failed the interview. I don't know why you failed it. I don't know why they gave you a 2-year deferral. I don't know why they don't tell you why you got the 2-year deferral. I think you have an idea. I think most people do have an idea. I get a lot of, I don't know why. But maybe you actually do know why. Maybe you just weren't strong enough on the interview. Or maybe you know that you did something wrong, right? I don't know. But 2-year deferral, that's not the end of the world. That's no big deal. And I say that easily. Because I knew I wanted to become a cop when I was 18, and it took me to like age 27 or 28, I can't even remember, to actually become one. And that's with no deferral. So yeah, keep it up. Keep on trying if you want. Yeah, go for another agency. I'm gonna do another. I think tonight I'm gonna put on my cowboy boots and do another one. Enjoy the weather. I'm actually looking forward to September. Isn't that weird? I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys. Keep watching. I'll upload to Spotify. Have a good weekend. It's Friday. Bye-bye.
What's that?